Welcome back to another episode of What's Trending. I'm Randy Filiault.
And I'm Deb Hamel.
And there's a long story behind this, but you made it.
I made it.
Deb hasn't been feeling well this week. We almost feel bad.
No, I don't. Don't feel bad.
No, I said almost. Almost.
Got a little brace on my leg, but I'm back. So forgive if I have dark circles or anything like that.
Yeah, dark
circles. The
circles.
makeup lady didn't show today. Oy.
Yeah, dark circles on the other eyes. We won't say what she did last night. But
No.
you know, I've been trying to determine what your bad habits are, what would cause you not feel well. You eat too much corn on the cob. I've figured it out.
I know.
I've figured it out.
Everybody's been saying that to me. And when I leave here and go home and put my laundry away, I'm heading over to Bells Falls to pick something up, and I'm going to go to Charlestown and get another dozen ears of corn on the cob.
There you go. And when most of us say dozen ears of corn, it like goes in the fridge, lasts for about a week. No, she's talking tonight.
6 at a time with a stick of butter and sea salt.
I figured it out. You can save a lot of money on insurance because I can tell you exactly what's going on. You're overdosing on corn.
I am. Oh, you know, I got caught in a big traffic jam coming into work here this morning.
Into Keene?
Yeah.
A traffic jam.
Cops all over the place.
Oh, Keene State?
Welcome back, Keene State College kiddies.
That is true.
Are you ready, City Councilor?
You know, but I actually have it right here to talk about Keene State returns today because they do, you know, for the city, depending on where you live, it's a double-edged sword.
Oh, yes.
Because some people have words for them that live in the downtown area that own businesses, and they're called cash flow.
That's true.
And some people that live in the neighborhoods they live in have a couple of words, but we can't say that on the air.
Some other kind of flu outside
Yeah,
by
exactly.
bushes.
So, and especially the first week,
Oh, yeah.
you know, the police are geared up for it. The police go into the neighborhoods, you know, either plain clothes or on bicycles, and they just kind of pedal up behind them as little Johnny Jr. is out of home for the first time, walking down the middle of the street with a beer in his hand.
Right.
And been here 15 minutes, hasn't even checked into class yet, and mom and dad get a phone call.
That's
Hey,
it.
I'm in jail. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So they're back.
there'll be a couple of dozen arrests, you know, over the weekend. It happens every year, especially
sure
the
does.
ones that are away from home that, you know, feeling their wild oats and
Right.
and they get nipped in the bud pretty quick.
And
but-
I didn't see any white sheets hanging out of windows with
Saw
spray
that.
paint saying drop off your freshman daughter. Where was that? That was some college.
Virginia, somewhere
I
in
think
Virginia.
so.
But that fraternity just got their charter revoked.
Good.
And a couple of them are getting suspended from school before it started.
Love it, love it.
You know, Mom, Dad, guess what? We're not getting our money back.
So that's our story on Keene State. And you brought up Virginia. Something really sad happened this morning in the world of journalism. Did you hear the report?
I did.
Too?
I did.
There was a woman filming at a water park, and her photographer was taking her picture. During live filming, a man came up, they believe it's a man, came up and shot both of them, and they're both dead.
Yeah, live on air.
Live
they
on
they
air.
say now it's a disgruntled employee, whatever. It's a whack job nonetheless.
It's a whack job. Sometimes I love this country, but it's just some days are kind of cray-cray.
It is. And
It
you know,
is.
the whole argument about guns, obviously, you have the far left and the far right. Somewhere, somehow, we're going to meet in the middle someday and say, how do we address this? You know?
Enforce the laws. But what are you going to do? If somebody has something on their mind, they're going to do it regardless of what.
Oh, if there's a nut job out there, not much is going to stop them. But, you know,
Anyway,
You know-
moving right along. Boy, that was so quiet.
yeah, it's like, what? So, yeah, Keene State comes back. And, well, speaking of college, I can segue into this. Spent this past Saturday moving my son back into college after a little bit of a hiatus. He did a career change and
Oh, yes.
moved him into Boston University School of Law.
Yes.
And, you know, once again, Dad drove the U-Haul. You know, it's like, wow, I've done this
The
before.
Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah, barreling into Boston. Yeah. And,
I saw the pictures of his room.
yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's owned by Boston University. It's like probably 8 or 9 stories, but each floor has like 8 studio apartments. But the nice hardwood floors, really nice. They have with each 6 apartments, they have 2 bathrooms they share and a big kitchen they share.
Oh, and then I saw they had beautiful doors and doorknobs and nice things hanging off of them.
Oh yeah. Anybody saw my Facebook page? The woman that lived there before left a brassiere under the under one of the book stands, and
there she be.
there she be. I didn't even realize what it was. It looked like the size of a hammock. But hey, what are you gonna do? You know, it's part of
They
school.
were reenacting Davy and Goliath, I think. I don't know.
The good news was when I was driving down too, because I've done it before in Boston, and I'm like, oh, God, finding a place
Just
to park
yell.
at a U-Haul in Boston
Yeah.
is like a nightmare.
Double pack.
But because he's a grad student, going back for his law degree, they moved in a week before the general population
Oh.
did. You pull the U-Haul up Beacon Street, took her right into St. Mary Street. There's where he lives. A car pulls out the parking space right in front of the building.
Beautiful.
I'm like, thank you, God. I must have had a good week.
Oh, good. Yes.
Yeah. So, the payback might happen. But for this week, it was good. Got them all moved in. And, got the U-Haul back home. And he's enjoying life all over again. So,
Speaking of your son, Sean,
yeah.
we went, yourself, myself, Holly Jolly, our producer, and your son, Sean, went to when Jeb Bush was in Keene. And your son asked one of the questions. Very proud of him.
Yeah, well, he's...
Constitutional law. It was about the Supreme Court.
Right. He asked a very intelligent question, and Jeb Bush couldn't really figure out what he meant, but he will get back to him.
No, he knew what he meant. I was impressed with Jeb Bush, I have to say.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm glad
Randy
you're
fell asleep.
But, the bar was set kind of low, and she was impressed. I was impressed because he showed up.
I was impressed because he talked so passionately about education, and I know what he did in the state of Florida. So Bush is going up. Trump, I don't know. He's boop, 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 boop. He's
Yeah.
gone down a few notches. But
Well, at some point, you just can't run a whole campaign just trashing everybody. At some point, you just run out of people to trash. And that's what he does. And the novelty is starting to get thin. He's got a solid 25 to 30% support within the Republican Party.
Yeah.
But that's 65 to 70% that are still waiting for somebody else. And I think he's a novelty. But when push comes to shove in the end, he's not going to be president. If Joe Biden, and as of today when we're talking, he hasn't officially got in yet, my bet would be if Joe Biden gets in, he'll be the next president.
I don't know about that. Yeah, but Bozo gave him his blessing there.
Which one's that?
Your president, Obama.
Obama?
He gave his blessing to Biden.
You should get arrested for comments
which
like
means,
that. That's terrible. My God.
Oh, I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
But I think that means Hillary is pretty much DOA. She's done.
Well,
Done,
and you
done.
and I talked about this before we went on the air. I think the country, Republican, Democrat, just didn't want a Clinton and Bush. I just think the country just, and that's why right now Trump is so popular. People just say, just give me something different. Now, in the end, they're going to look at...
He's exciting a bunch of the population that never really gets involved at this early of a juncture in a political campaign, presidential
But it's like
race.
going to a family reunion. A lot of the family's kind of boring. Who's getting all the attention?
Me.
Exactly. The drunken uncle up on the picnic table who's down to his swim shorts, and he's...
Well, let me tell you this about your mother.
That's right. Everybody's going, yay! But do you really want him to be president? It's like, probably not. And so that's why I think
he
Trump
would do a good job. I would support him if he was president and this and that. But he's not my number one anymore.
No, he's not. He's not going to be there. But so the thing is, man, there's a long ways to go with this. There is going to be so many more headlines and fights. It is entertaining. Yeah. I mean, if you're a political junkie like we are, the entertainment factor is unbelievable.
Every day it's something. It's a circus.
And how would you like to own in New Hampshire or Iowa a television station or a newspaper? The money
the
is
advertising
massive.
dollars. However, when you sell political advertising, it's sold at a lower rate.
Well, it's a lower rate. However,
it's still money.
That's why it's like
Ka-ching!
they're like, oh, those 15 Republican candidates don't drop out. Everybody Biden's getting in.
Right.
Cash flow.
Cash flow. And there's so many candidates. Now, it makes me think of the Keene races coming up. We have, 3 people right now signed up for mayor?
3 people running for mayor.
And there's a week left.
Right, and what that does force a primary, which...
Is that expensive?
It costs the city an extra $10,000 to run a primary. I will be putting in legislation after this election that we eliminate the primary altogether. That, say you get 3 people for mayor or in a particular ward...
But you can't do that.
Yes, I can.
How? You're going to write a bill? I'm just a bill. Yes,
No,
I'm only a bill.
my name's Randy.
And I'm
Let me
sitting
explain
here.
to you what
All right.
legislation is. Okay?
okay.
Let me explain to you how that works. These Trump supporters don't understand legislation. Like Trump.
All right, anyway,
I
get
can
to the
do
point.
this, I
So
can
you're
do
gonna
that.
submit something
It's
to
called
who?
legislation.
Yes.
So in order to get the legislation to the city through, the voters have to vote on it, and it would say, we want to do away with a primary. It takes 2/3 of Keene's
Majority,
voters,
right.
2/3 to change. It's a charter change because it's part of the charter. So
Okay.
that's what it would take.
That's what you're talking. I thought you were
And,
talking statewide legislature.
New Hampshire and Keene are a little different.
Yes.
Kind of like national politics is a little different.
Kind
We'll
of
talk-
like you are a little different.
Any
surprises?
There's the pot calling the kettle black, huh?
Oh.
Yeah.
Any surprises on people who've signed up or people who have not signed up? Or
Not really. I think what you're going to see with the city elections is, and I know a lot of people say they're going to run, but they don't know if they want to run a ward or at large.
That's it.
We got another week to go. The last day, the last hour of the last day, there will be a line at City Hall signing up.
Because people who are running kind of like to sit back and see, who they're going against.
Right. That's exactly what it is.
And then
Me,
if
I was in there the first minute of the first day. I don't waste any time. I hand over my $2 and I sign up, and there you go.
Bada boom, bada bing, he was
Exactly. There and done. And the city had $2 more in the coffers after I left.
Well, yay.
Yeah, that's right. Taxes
That's
are
right.
going down.
Taxes are going down. Well, that's interesting to know. And let's see, about 2 weeks ago, I was asking you a question about the flashing lights on the crosswalk by the Sentinel and NGM, and I believe that was accepted now.
Yep.
That is going to happen.
Yep, went through council, and it's one of those areas that's a high traffic area. So
It is.
Similar to the college, it's just a warning light.
Yes.
So when people like yourself are coming through with a half dozen ears of cooked corn, and you're trying to eat one and have
I'm peeling them on my way home so I can just dunk them right in that
yeah,
water.
you're driving with your knees and having corn in one hand and your Coca-Cola in the other hand.
Yes.
And you're like, you see that flashing light and you go, what the heck was that?
Don't.
Yeah, it's better than hearing, don't. And it's like, oh, well, they were in the way anyhow.
That wasn't a squirrel.
Oh, look at my fender. No, so that's what, that will go through. It's a minor thing that happens on council. Those are the small things.
Okay.
Babbling a little bit, last night there was a
Yes.
community forum on the heroin right here at Hebron Hall that a couple of local citizens put on. And
What was the crowd?
I
Was it a
attended
big
that. They had a
crowd?
nice crowd. They had a nice crowd. Maybe, guesstimating at 60, 75 people.
That's a
which
good
in Keene is a
turnout.
big crowd because usually we get like 5 or 6 at a council meeting. And
Well.
it kind of went as I expected it would. It's more of a forum to just say, we've got a problem and we're talking about it.
Okay.
And so, for the citizens that put it on, I commend them. In a couple of weeks I keep thinking March in my head. I'm like, man, I'm trying to blow away winter already.
Wow.
On September 2nd, it's going to be on a Wednesday. It'll be at Keene High School, actually. The mayor has appointed the forum that myself and Councillor Clark will be co-chairing.
Yes.
And at a city level, now we're going to start addressing it.
Good.
More formally with people from the police, the fire, from the hospital, from the state.
Yes.
And, okay, we've talked about it enough.
Do you have someone from the jail?
And it's now, yes, Van Wickler.
Good.
From the jail. We need to really start talking about now we got a problem. We acknowledge that. We've heard stories from people that
All
are
kinds.
heroin addicts.
Right.
And we've heard from police and we've heard from the medical community. What do we do
Right.
to move on now?
Gotcha.
How do we start preventing it in the beginning? And what do we do with people that need treatment at the end?
Yeah.
Probably the thing that we do most effectively right now is enforcement and arrest. But as the police have all said, we're not going to arrest our way out of this, and we've got to do something more effective. And I think we talked about this last week, how the FDA has now approved Oxycontins for 11-year-olds.
For little
There you
ones.
go.
Yeah.
Nice job. Yeah, good. Just been trying to figure this out. It's
Thanks
like,
for
hey,
your help.
let's addict the kids.
Right.
Talk about following the money trail.
No, I
So,
hear you.
as far as what's trending, that'll be what's trending. And I talked to Dan Mitchell on WKBK, and they're like, well, what are you going to do about it? And I said, well, look, this is like a freight train going down a hill out of control. It's going to take a long time just to slow the train down. But if we acknowledge at least we've got an out of control train, we're paying attention to it. So that'll be what's trending, unfortunately, for a while.
For a while.
Okay, what's going on city-wise before we get to more national stuff? Tonight, or as people, by the time they're watching this, if they're watching this on Wednesday, we'll actually be addressing this as we're talking right now.
I hope people are watching us.
They better be watching us.
I heard at last count we had 7,500 people that watched this show.
Is
when
that
it's
right?
run, yes.
That's-
So we thank you all for watching.
That's scary. Somebody's really watching?
Yes.
Man, I might have to start saying something intelligent here pretty quick.
I've been
God.
waiting. We're on show number 6. Come on.
So tonight, in talk about college coming back, I have proposed to the city that we change the noise ordinance back to 10 p.m. at night.
Oh, yes.
A few years ago, they moved it to 11 p.m. You live in those neighborhoods, that's way too late to start calling in noise complaints. Even 10 o'clock's late, but it's semi-reasonable.
Right.
So I'm sure somebody's going to oppose me. Whenever I say anything, somebody opposes it. But
You wonder why.
unbelievable.
I know.
I know. You're stunned too.
I-
I can't believe somebody would disagree
I
with
was
me.
going
on
to say I'm
anything.
speechless, but that never happens.
that will never happen.
happens.
So we'll talk about that tonight, and we'll see
Okay.
where that goes. Yeah, you never know. I mean, sometimes you can argue about, what, I think we should say the sky is blue, and you'll still get somebody saying, what's your definition of blue? I don't really believe
Right,
that.
just for the sake of argument.
Just for the sake of arguing. Just for the sake of arguing. Yeah, we get that. And also there's a public hearing tonight talking about, with the State of New Hampshire Transportation Department, the South Bridge down near over Winchester Street, which attaches Keene State College athletic fields.
Yes.
There used to be a railroad
There did.
there. We have the bridge, the bike trail on the north side. They call it the North Bridge. The state's planning on building one down there, which in my opinion, that should have been the first one that was built. Because you get a lot of college students, you get a lot of pedestrians crossing that street, a lot of bicyclists
Does the
crossing.
college chip into that at all, or that's totally
It's
state?
basically state and federal. It's state and federal, but once again, it's a public hearing tonight.
Okay.
And before I come out and say this is exactly how it is, by the end of tonight, we'll know exactly how it is.
I hear you.
Now, if I find out at the 11th hour, which typically happens in politics, they say, yeah, we're all good. Oh, by the way, the city taxpayers have to pay for it. I'll be like, I'm out.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. So that'll be a public hearing tonight, and we'll see how that goes. So if you're watching this on Wednesday, we're talking about it now. If you're watching us on Friday, it happened 2 days ago, and you've already read about it.
Yes.
So
But
there
you
we
can always
are.
watch it on Cheshire TV.
That's right. Just be here. You don't really even need another television channel. I mean, for God's
No.
sake, 900 channels. This is the only one they really need to watch.
There you
If
go.
they're going to learn something.
I'm going to do a little shopping channel on here. I need to clean out my wardrobe.
That'd be full time in itself,
Oh,
wouldn't
it
it?
would. It would.
So the other thing going on locally that we talked about a couple weeks ago, that's what's trending. A lot of talk on social media about restaurant closings and openings, and a lot of rumors, and you read on Facebook that every restaurant in Keene is closed. So a little bit of an update, because we had talked about here about Wendy's closing. Apparently, whatever issue they had with their lease got resolved.
So they found the beef. So it's no
Whatever,
more. Where's
the beef has been found. They're hanging around. Hey, I'm a poet and I don't know it.
Ay, ay, ay.
So they're staying. There was another thing on social media talking about Cheshire Village Pizza. Looks like they're closed. He took a 2-week vacation.
Right.
That's it. And when you're in the food service industry and you own a small business, it's tough to get time off. So what he does, and I actually spoke to him, he says, look, the only way to really get time off for this industry is close for 2 weeks
Right.
and take a vacation. Because if you don't and you tell the employees, you guys take care of it, that ain't vacation.
And speaking of
Been there, done that one.
Speaking of fast food, McDonald's and Burger King are joining together. They're having a little kumbaya. I think they're going to put together a hamburger called the McWhopper or something.
Haven't heard of that one.
Hey, just ask me. I know it, and if I don't, I'll make it up. But yes,
I think you just did make that one.
no, I didn't.
That's like real?
That's real.
I think you had a bad...
Just like the story I said last week about Oreo cookies are going to Mexico. First thing Donald Trump says in his town hall there and stuff is about Oreo cookie. He listened to our show. He stole my news story and didn't even give me credit for it. Wasn't that something? I was right on the blower texting. Did you hear him? Not that you cared. Okay, go ahead. I guess I interrupted something.
There you
I
go.
was gonna say.
Vice presidential candidate right there, huh?
Yes,
You should. You'd be a policymaker. At least we get the Oreo straightened out.
that's right.
Well, that's kind of rolls right into what you're talking about. And then Joe Biden might be running for president, as we said.
I
And
think that would be awesome.
if he does, at very least, if you've ever been to a Joe Biden event, which my wife Holly, our producer,
Yes.
and I have been to Joe Biden events, the guy is funny. You go to some of these events, they're very stiff and they're very formal. And Joe is just right out there. He's fun.
He is right out there. And the thing that gets me, and I think it's funny, and he constantly screws up, either when he's talking or does something. He's
Little
known,
gaffes.
He's known for hugging the ladies. Little gaffes. But how come when George W. Bush made a little gaffe or something, it was all, but when Biden does it, it's okay?
Because when George W. spoke, the whole thing was a gaffe. when George W. spoke, once in a while he would say something that was accurate, and you'd go, "Wow!"
No.
Did you hear that?
Not at all. But
Okay, I take it back. He never did speak about anything that was accurate. But I was trying to give him credit for one thing.
But
anyhow.
Biden makes gaffes like W did. So, and I like that.
Off the cuff.
Off the cuff.
Off the cuff.
None
But
of this teleprompter stuff like your president.
my president. You know what?
And Hillary
Old George W. didn't have teleprompter because he didn't know how it worked. He was like, what?
didn't
What?
need one. He's a good old boy.
I guess he didn't need one. You're
Didn't
telling
need
me?
one.
God. And what about Hillary? Stop picking on my candidates.
Hillary is going down the tubes fast.
It's kind of hard to argue that one.
They're asking for her to, there's a huge majority of people that want her to just put her on standstill, put her campaign on standstill.
Yeah. But, I mean...
I think she's going to be standing still and alone in a jail cell. Saying,
I don't
clink,
think
clink, clink, clink,
none of that's going to happen. I honestly think when all is said and done,
Yeah, because she's a Clinton. They get away with stuff.
they're going to just say, yeah, you know what, that was a bunch of hooey. You know? But,
A bunch of hooey. She had on her private service the email of the, what's his name, ambassador and his travel plans, and he was the ambassador that got killed in Benghazi.
You know what?
And nobody was supposed to know the travel plans. Could it be when she was on a private server that other people got hold and saw what was going on?
If Hillary Clinton was smart, she would have done what George W. did. Just go invade another country and distract from things. You know?
No, but
just
instead
spend $10 trillion, get a few thousand people killed.
But instead, she took money from other countries and then gave them favors for it. The Clinton
See,
Foundation.
she should learn. Go to war and it distracts everything.
War.
Yeah.
What is it good for? Absolutely nothing.
Say it again.
There you go.
All right.
Cool. Yeah, war. War is killing machine death, which makes me think of another story about death. Something happened in Honduras. A husband buried his wife. She had heard a gunshot. She was 16 years old and was pregnant, and she just went out. So they buried her. The next day, the husband goes to the tomb, puts his hand on it, and he's like crying, and all of a sudden he's going. He heard his wife screaming and banging to get out. So they ripped open the tomb, ripped everything apart, pulled her thing out, and like there was even glass for the viewing. That was knocked out, but she died on the way to the hospital. They made the mistake pronouncing her dead, and she was in there for 24 hours.
You do not need the National Enquirer when you have us.
No.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
Save a buck.
Save a buck.
Listen to Deb. You know what? That might be another show. Deb said, believe
Deb
it or
said.
not, believe it or, yeah.
Debbie's Believe It or Don't.
Well, that was a unique one, my dear.
Wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
What else we got going on here? And I get a little note here talking about the rest of them as far as presidential candidates. There's nothing to say because none of them get any press.
Can you imagine? It's so difficult. It is just so difficult. Everybody's trying to get traction. Lindsey Graham was in Spofford over the weekend. I didn't go see him.
I didn't even know he was in Spofford. That goes to tell you something right there. He lives here, and it's like, he was what?
Yes, and Carly Fiorina is going to be in.
She's getting a little bit of press lately, though.
She's getting a lot of press, and
Yeah.
I look forward to meeting her. You know, I've had some people ask me, well, join on Carly's team. And I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
haven't met her yet, haven't talked to her yet.
And John Kasich will be coming back to Keene here over the next couple of weeks. So
Yeah, he's going to be
very nice guy.
He's going to be
Very
in
nice.
New Hampshire this
and
week.
he's in
as a matter of
second
fact.
in New Hampshire, and Carly's in third. So those two, by the time the primary comes, those two will be a lot closer to Trump.
Right.
I mean, I know a lot of people think it's a done deal. It's not. Those two are really going to start making headway because New Hampshire really does listen to credibility, and in the end, usually somebody credible is near the top.
Right. And me, although, you know, I'm a happy Republican, but I look at them all, and I'm not just going to sit there and drink the Kool-Aid like with Trump. You know what I mean?
Right.
I love Trump, boom, 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 but I'm not afraid to say, you know, he did something that was stupid. He always
Like
says,
everything he says.
he says, I'll make your head spin. Well, he made my head spin the past couple of days.
Yeah.
He has. But you know what? Hey, God bless.
Well, you know what's funny?
Running.
I was reading online here talking about Michelle Obama, saying, they're saying, oh, she's not a lady. Who's she? And then you see some of the old photos of Trump's, 19th wife, whatever she is, the 12-year-old he's married to now. And you see some of the photos that she used to be in. And it's like, seriously? That's your first lady?
You shouldn't be looking at those things online.
Well, that's the whole point. It was like, all of a sudden somebody posted something on my Facebook about his wife. I'm like, why am I getting a porn site of my wife? Oh, that's just Trump.
Oh, dear Lord. Now, why aren't we seeing the happy Democratic candidates popping in and out of here? we talk a lot about the Republicans and stuff, but how many people do we have running for Democratic side?
I think there's like 4 now.
Can you name them?
Bernie Sanders, the governor of Virginia, and I always forget his name. Webb was going to run too. I don't even know if his name's in there now.
I don't know.
You know,
But where
and of course
are they?
Hillary. But you know what everybody's on is and although I'm saying people are waiting for Biden to get in,
He's going to.
you know, but I don't think people are taking Bernie Sanders seriously enough. The guy's drawing 20, 30,000 people to an event. I mean, that means something.
The people who are on Bernie's team, what is it? Feel the burn. The people who are feeling the burn right now are really into him, and they're writing about him on Facebook and this and that. But there's others that it's like he's not a blip. They're just the Dems are waiting to see what their talking point is going to be, what they're told to do.
And quite
'Cause
honestly,
that's how you
and I
guys
like
work,
Bernie, but I
right?
think us guys, you guys.
That's how you were. Who's going to get the coronation?
The
Who's
way-
going to have the big umpapa, the big crown?
You are kind of right. People are waiting for Joe to come on board. There, and it's going to happen.
I am right. We have 2 minutes
You're
left.
very far right, to be honest with you, but that's okay.
I'm
We
just
do.
Republican for the clothes.
Yeah, like we said, Republicans go to parties, they drink bottled water. Democrats go to the house parties, we drink out of the garden hose.
Right,
you
and
know?
hummus.
But that's how yeah, a little bit of hummus here and there. Hey, we got about a minute and a half to go. Actually, we only got a minute to go.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's quick. Just fun stuff. If you watch the Red Sox, Don Ocello was the play-by-play commentator.
Yes.
You know who's replacing him, though?
Who?
Dave O'Brien. You know who Dave O'Brien is? Graduated Marlboro High School, just up the road.
Right there in New Hampshire.
Yeah, he actually played baseball with Dan Mitchell from WKBK. They went to high school together. So he's going to be the play-by-play guy.
I
on
want to know
Nesson.
how come Danny Mitchell just got 3 name mentions on our show. Is he mentioned in this show on KBK?
He better be.
I know you're watching, Danny. You better mention us.
Yeah, we're going to be talking to
Oh,
him.
we're going to be wrapping up here pretty
Yeah, we
soon.
only got 43 seconds
And I
left.
had another
The door
great
opens, it means we're
story to
almost
talk
done.
about.
So he's going to be doing that. Hey, Music Festival in Keene is next Saturday on the 5th. That's here already.
And is that like a free thing? You can walk
It's
around
free.
town?
And downtown does not get closed off. There are no riots.
Are there sales in the stores?
There's all kinds of stuff going on. Just
love
be
it.
downtown.
Be
Oh,
downtown.
You'll be there if the sales.
I will.
And the horseshoe tournament that we mentioned is also next weekend in Keene.
Mm-hmm.
And in a couple of weeks, Planet Fitness will be opening up.
I'm excited about that.
I
I
am
should have
too.
signed up.
I did.
Okay, good.
And my wife Holly did. And he just went like that to see the 2 high fives. It means we have 10 seconds left.
I thought it was
Is that
MICKEY.
Keymousse? See ya. Have a good week, guys.
Yeah, peace.